right, so let's try something. What is all this shit on the table?
There's a ton of dirt and stuff all over my dashboard.
Guten Tag, Fräulein! That's our intro, then we'll title screen, and here we go.
You should do that.
Hey, it's John and Mike, brewdudes.com. Tonight we're...
Brew Dash Dudes.
Oh, dash. Don't forget, doing it for the dash.
Doing it for the dash.
Don't forget the dash. So we're sampling beer. I think this is my first... I think this might be my first sampling, my beer of 2015.
Dude, this is the saddest thing ever because you finally get your stuff together to actually brew in 2015.
Yes, and it's...
But I'm glad it's here. It's only
till now to taste it. So.
Well, it's only almost halfway done with the year.
So
you're gonna have a great 2H 2015.
Absolutely.
That's second half.
I get your second half.
Second half 2015.
I'm still a Q. So a Q is out. 3 Q.
No,
Q's are out, just
2H.
Okay.
No, we're talking second half.
Speak of H. Hefeweizen. So a couple months ago, I was really craving to get into the wheat beer kick again, and I don't normally drink German style Hefeweizen because I don't like some of the flavors you can get out of German Hefes. Clove.
Banana.
You
like? I like banana.
I don't like clove and banana.
Oh.
I mean, think about having a banana and studding it with cloves and then like.
I'm gonna try that tomorrow.
Oh,
breakfast.
God, it'd be awful.
Nice.
So anyway,
that doesn't sound good.
So I brewed this because I was craving it, and tell me what you think.
Okay. Well, I said, so what was the bittering charge? And he said, it's all Tettnang.
All Tettnang
all day long.
So this is 2 ounces of Tettnang at 60 minutes. With 1 ounce of Tettnang at 20 minutes.
Because it was spicy. That's why I asked, because there's a bit of a little spice in there. It's not overtly clovey. I mean, there's a hint of it, which is nice. So my follow-up question, now that we're on to cloviness and just the flavor of it, what was your fermentation temperature throughout the primary fermentation?
Started at 62. I let it naturally climb up on its own. It got up to about 66 degrees, and it basically held there for 4 or 5 days here in the basement.
Yeah.
And then just to make sure it finished out about 7 to 8 days after that first initial start of fermentation, then I put the brew belt onto it and let it go up to probably like 70, 72-ish in that range just to dry it out. But at that point, fermentation was basically done. So.
Right on. I should have brought over my Dunkelweizen and have it comparison to it. Because I'd say that this is... thirst-quenchingly dry. It's not too funky, and there's really, I don't sense any like banana-y notes or. No,
the fruity esters are low. I think the main flavor of this is being driven by the hop character.
Yeah, that's it.
Which it's definitely too hoppy for the style. This is about 44 IBUs.
Okay.
And I think the maximum German Hefeweizen, according to BJCP, is 15.
Oh.
So it's definitely too hoppy for the style, but I wouldn't say it's like hoppy.
No.
Another interesting part of this is that the basic recipe, aside from the hops that we talked about, is that it's basically 50-50. Two-row, American two-row, and German wheat malt. Okay. But I also kicked in there because I kicked in half a pound of acidulated malt.
Yeah.
Because in my wheat beers, especially when I make the wit beer, the Belgian wit beer, I like that little bit
Tang.
of lactic. I mean, you can't taste it, but I think it brightens it up a little bit.
It's there.
I like that. So... Interesting thing with this beer, I was really nervous about how it was going to taste because I had a little bit of a pH roller coaster with this beer. So for kicks, once I got the mash started, I checked the pH of this. And to my surprise, the pH was like 4.9. Oh. And I really wanted it to be like in the 5.2, 5.4 range.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit nervous about that, and realizing I had also put a little gypsum in here, which is one of the reasons why I think the hops are fairly crisp, which I like. I'm not knocking it, but my pH, but that and the acidulated malt, probably a bad combination. Acid malt and gypsum driving the pH down. So to recover, I was a little bit freaked out. So to recover, I grabbed the baking soda and I threw like almost a tablespoon of baking soda in it.
Just to neutralize it?
Just to try to push the pH back the other way.
Yeah.
So, I use a recirculating mash tun. So, after about another 10 minutes, I checked the pH. Yeah. Now my pH was like 5.8. And I'm like, oh no! So, the pH is a little bit too high. I was like, oh boy. So, then what I did is I said, okay, well, I'm going to stop screwing around with it. But I have lactic acid, right? Yeah. I gave it a little squirt of lactic acid, and I just said, I'm not gonna check. So, so I was afraid that it would probably come out like salty. Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. But it's a little bit minerally or whatever. But I don't think that character is there.
Mm. I mean, yeah, I don't.
If I didn't tell you that roller coaster story of.
I wouldn't think
you
that
wouldn't even
either.
know.
No. I would say that, okay, yeah, I could pick out
I should check the pH of the final beer just to get an idea.
See what's going on. But, there is a little bit of, I just thought it was all yeast characteristics.
Yeah.
That there is a little bit of tang to it, but I wouldn't say, if you didn't tell me you had put acid malt in that, then I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So
I think most of that flavor, it really is just being driven by that spicy, noble-ish quality of the Tettnang. So
that's it. And I think that if you put this in competition, people are like, this is way too hoppy for a Hefeweizen, and I'm not getting enough, yeasty characteristics. But, for a wheat beer that doesn't have, a lot of that German characteristic into it, it's fine.
But it has a nice yeast quality to it. There is a yeast profile to it, a fermentation profile, which is pleasant. Yeah. It's a little bit different than a straight-up wheat beer.
Sure. It's definitely different than an American wheat, for sure.
Yeah. I think for me this is a pleasant surprise. I mean, I just really wanted to brew. I smashed it out, and then I was getting a little cocky and playing around, but I wanted to play around and just see what was going to happen.
You should never check your pH.
I should never check your pH.
Well, you should check it. I'm saying for this brew session.
Yeah, right.
You should have just been bold.
In the end, a success. I think it's a success. I'm looking for this beer. It came out. There's only 4.5% alcohol, so I think it's gonna be a great drinking beer once the sun comes back out and it dries out here in New England. So it'll be pretty nice. Yeah. I'm happy with this one.
I'll come over next time it's 90. Which will be a week or two from now.
Yeah, we'll get the fire pit going and
drink it up.
All right.
So thanks.
Thank you.
Mike actually brewed one.
Brewed some beer
in 2015.
I do have other stuff coming too.
I know.
The yeast experiment.
We'll talk about that. Yeah,
craziness.
I can't wait for that.
And I've got more stuff. I've got another beer ready to go. Actually, I have a fire pit inspired beer that's coming in the future.
Holy poop on a stick.
Okay, man.
So for John and Mike, brew-dudes.com. All for the dash.
All for the dash.
Brew on.
How do you say goodbye in German?
I don't know.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah.